I am going to show you how to do this gorgeous chain faux braid. I will be using my faux braid braiding cap so that you can follow the colors and learn with no confusion and no frustrations. Before we get started, let's go through how to make a chain and how to make a bow. So this is my 9-core braids braiding cap and I removed pink. So what we got left is yellow, orange, and red. Orange is in the middle and I'm going to put a hair tie right here. So when you know how to do a chain braid, this hair tie is not a necessity. But for learning purposes and for consistency, this hair tie is very helpful. So orange is your middle strand. We're going to create an interlocking link first and then we create the chain. Yellow and red are going to crisscross over orange. Red goes to the left, yellow goes to the right. Orange is going to come up and above its hair tie I'm going to create an opening and orange is going to go through that opening. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, create this opening right there. There's my orange and I'm going to bring orange up, bring it into my fingers and pull down. So here's how it looks like at the beginning. Now I'm going to pull on yellow and red, pull on orange, pull on yellow and red, pull on orange to create this really nice interlocking. Now to create a chain, you repeat the process. So I'm going to tie orange right here again. Now that orange is tied, I'm going to grab yellow and red. They're going to crisscross. Yellow is going to come to the left, red is going to go to the right, leaving orange in the middle. I'm going to create an opening above orange's hair tie. I'm going to take my 2 fingers, place them above the hair tie, create an opening, take orange, bring it to my fingers and pull down. Then I'm going to take red and yellow, pull. Then I'm going to pull on orange, pull on red and yellow, pull on orange to bring it all where I want it. And then you clean it up by pulling on the loop part, creating that circle. There's yellow, there's red, and then pulling on orange to make sure everything is nice and tight. And this is how you create your chain and your interlocking. So let's go through now and how to make a bow. For the bow, we are going to use yellow, orange, and red. I went ahead and I tied orange right there for a point of reference because I'm going to create an opening above this hair tie. I'm going to put 2 fingers through that opening and I need orange to topsy-tail through here. So I'm going to bring orange up, ready to topsy-tail, except that I need orange to create a loop. So I'm going to put my finger right here so that when I topsy-tail orange, I don't go all the way through and I create this loop. We need that for red and yellow to go through. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, put them through orange's loop, grab red, bring it over to the other side, and then I'm going to hang on to red with my thumb so it doesn't go anywhere while I grab yellow to make it go through orange's loop as well to the other side. I'm going to place my thumb inside yellow's loop as well, just so that I don't lose them. From here, I'm going to pull on orange to make everything tight and secured. I'm going to remove my thumb. And here's my bow. And then you can tighten up orange again. Pull on yellow and red to make your bow nice and cute. So this is how you make a bow. Let's go back to doing the chain faux braid. So I'll be using my faux braid braiding cap, where yellow represents the top of the head, orange is the hair above the ears, red is the hair at ear level, and pink is the hair underneath the ears. So let's get started with yellow. Yellow is going to help us get the first interlocking. So I'm going to divide yellow into 3. And from the recap I showed you guys earlier, This is going to be red, this is orange, and this is yellow. So we're going to create the first interlocking, divide it into 3, and I'm going to put a hair tie right here. Now that the middle strand is tied, I'm going to grab the 2 outer strands and I'm going to crisscross them over the middle strand. So here's my middle strand, it needs to go up. And I'm going to create the opening here above this hair tie. And this middle strand is going to go through this opening. I'm going to take my 2 fingers, put it through the opening, grab my yellow middle strand, bring it up to my fingers, and I'm going to pull down. The 2 strands on the outside, we're going to pull on them, pull on the middle strand, pull on the 2 outside strand, pull on the middle strand to create this very nice interlocking. So from here, I'm going to tie the middle strand again right there. Now that the middle strand is tied, I'm going to remove the outside yellow out of the way. Now it's time to add orange. So I'm going to grab orange, the hair that's above the ears, bring it to the middle, nice and clean. And I'm going to tie them above yellow right here. They are not going to be with yellow, they're going to be tied separately. Now this orange is now going to take part in this circle right here. Yellow and only yellow will be part of this circle. Let me tighten this back up. This yellow will be part of the first circle. Orange has been now put in place to join for the second circle. So let's go ahead and create the first circle with yellow only. Now because orange will take part for the next circle, we are preparing it. So we're going to split orange in half, and yellow's middle strand is going to come up. So yellow is separating the 2 oranges for the next circle. But for now, we are going to crisscross the 2 outside yellows to create another interlocking and to create the first circle. So I'm going to crisscross the 2 yellows, one to the left, one to the right. There's my middle strand, and there's the middle strand's hair tie. And I'm going to create an opening in the middle, and I'm going to make the yellow strand go through that opening. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, create the opening above yellow's hair tie right there, grab yellow's middle strand, bring it up to my fingers, and I'm going to pull down. Now I'm going to pull on yellow's outside strands, and then I'm going to pull on yellow's middle strand, tighten everything up, pull on the outside strand, pull on the middle strand. Now I'm going to create that circle. So I'm going to pull to the right, pull to the left, creating that first circle. Now the first circle has been created, and we created 2 interlockings right there. So now we have orange and yellow are now together. So I'm going to move them up, and orange and yellow will take part in the next circle. But we need to prepare for the third circle. So what I'm going to do now is tie yellow right there, and then separately I'm going to grab red, bring it into the middle, and tie red right there. Alright, so I went ahead and I tied red, and separately behind it is yellow. So I'm going to split red in half, prepare it for the next circle. I'm going to bring the middle strand yellow up, splitting red, essentially. Now orange and yellow are going to come back down, creating the next circle. I'm going to grab yellow and orange from the right, cross them over to the left. I'm going to grab yellow and orange from the left, clean them up, cross them over to the right with yellow's middle strand right here. And yellow's middle strand needs to come up, and needs to go through an opening I'm about to create that is above yellow's hair tie. So we just have to find it. So there's the yellow with the hair tie right there. I'm going to create an opening with my 2 fingers. There they are. Everything is in place, and that's why we use the hair ties everywhere, to make sure we can find our spot. So there's my 2 fingers, there's my yellow tail, the middle strand. I need this to be brought to my fingers, pull down. There's one more, there we go. Orange and yellow on one side and red as well, but we don't need to pull on red yet. So just pull on orange and yellow, pull them up. Yellow's middle strand, pull it down to make sure everything is tight, and you pull until you have everything where you want them and nice and tight. Now I'm going to work on the loop, pulling on the loop, and don't forget the top circle. Everything is connected, so when you pull on one, you also pull on the other. So your circles are good, your interlocking is good. Let's find my middle strand. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to bring the hair up, and now we have yellow, orange, and red. Red was brought in from the last time to take part in the 3rd circle. Pink is not coming with us. So we're going to repeat the process. We're going to tie yellow here, and then we're going to bring pink into the middle and separately tie pink above yellow. So pink is tied, yellow is tied separately. We're going to split pink in half. Then we're going to bring yellow's middle strand through. And if we were to do a 4th loop, this is prepping pink for the 4th loop. We are not doing a 4th loop. 3 for today only. So now we're going to bring the rest of the hair down. So here's my middle yellow strand, and now we're going to need to crisscross the right hand side and the left hand side. But because I know this will be our last circle that we'll be forming, it is visually prettier if first we split it in half, each side. So I'm going to split the right hand side in half, and I'm going to split the left hand side in half. And what I'm going to do is, from the back, I'm going to cross over to the right, and then from the back, I'm going to cross over to the left, and now the 2 from the front cross over to the right, and the last one cross over to the left. Only because there's so much hair involved, you don't all want it from one side, front and back. It'll make it too thick and too obvious. This way, we're making it more balanced. So now that we crisscross left and right, although we did it twice, but we still did it. So now your yellow middle strand needs to find its opening above its hair tie. So the hair is getting thicker, so we have to dive in and go find it. So there's my pink, and I found my yellow. It is right there. So there's my yellow, there's its hair tie, there are my fingers. It is much deeper now that there's this much hair involved, but that is why we have all those hair ties. Help us keep the hair under control. So here's my yellow, here's my fingers, and I'm going to pull down. And then you tighten up, pulling on the right, pulling on the left, pulling in my yellow strand right there, and you tighten everything up, make sure everything looks good. Then you're going to pull on yellow nice and tight, your yellow middle strand right there, and we're going to grab it all and we're going to tie it. And we're going to tie everything right here. Now that it's all tied, we're going to make sure all your circles look good. So you pull a little bit to the left, pull a little bit to the right, until you have the right shape. Now with real hair, it'll be a lot easier to shape your circles, but it is still doable with yarn. So once you're happy with the shape, Now we're going to make a bow. So you're going to grab the pink from behind and you're going to bring it forward and we're going to tie it right here. So now that pink is tied, we have our red, our orange, and our yellow. And then this is the hair tie that the orange is going to topsy-tail through. So you're going to grab your middle strand or your orange and you're going to topsy-tail it above this hair tie. But don't forget, we need that loop. So when you start the topsy-tail, don't forget to put your finger through the hair so it doesn't go 100% through. So there's my loop right here. There's red, there's yellow. I'm going to put my 2 fingers through the loop, grab the right hand side or red, bring it over, use my thumb to keep it under control. This is my left hand side or my yellow. I'm going to make it go through the loop, over to the other side. And I'm going to control it by putting my thumb through that loop. So there's yellow, there's red, and then there's my orange that I'm going to pull on once I release my thumb. So pulling on my middle strand, creating my bow. And you pull to the right, pull to the left, making sure your bow is nice and beautiful. And then once you're done with the bow, everything but these 2 pink outside strands is going to be tied together. So we're going to tie everything right here. So these are your steps for your chain faux braid finished with a bow. Let's go ahead and do this now on a mannequin head. On your mannequin head, go ahead and grab the section on top of the head, your yellow. Don't take the biggest yellow, just take a nice smaller amount of yellow. Less is more in this case. So there's my crown, and I'm going to separate this into 3 sections to do the first interlocking. There are my 3 sections, and I'm going to go ahead and tie yellow right here. Now that yellow is tied right there, I'm going to crisscross the 2 outside strands over the middle strand, which is right here. And now this middle strand needs to go through its opening above its hair tie and pull down. So there's my hair tie. I'm going to put my fingers inside an opening that I just created right there. And the middle strand is going to go into my fingers and I'm going to pull down. And there's my first interlocking. Keeping everything clean, we're going to pull on the outside strands, pull on the middle strand. Pull on the outside strand, pull on the middle strand, and make sure we stay in the middle. Then we're going to take the middle strand and we're going to tie it right there. Now that I tied the middle strand, I need to tie orange to the middle. So I'm going to remove the 2 outside strands, the 2 yellows, put them on top, grab my 2 orange. It is the hair above the ear. Now I'm only going to grab very little. Less is more in this hairstyle. So I'm going to grab it from the left, and I'm going to grab it from the right and tie it in the middle. Now remember, we're not going to tie it with yellow. We're going to tie it separately. Now that orange is tied, I'm going to split it in half. Now remember, orange will not be part of the first circle, but we need to prep it for the next circle. So I'm going to split it in half. And I'm going to bring the middle strand through, keeping the oranges separated. Now we need to bring yellow back down to create the first circle. Bringing back down yellow. Yellow needs to crisscross over the middle strand. So it's going to go to the right, it's going to go to the left. There's my middle strand. And the middle strand needs to go through an opening that is above its hair tie. So I got to go in the back. There's its hair tie right here. Split the hair above the hair tie. Bring my fingers through and bring the middle strand to my fingers and pull down. So there's the first circle. It's a lot easier to do it on hair. Then we're going to pull on it a little bit, getting the shape in there. So now orange and yellow are together to the right, and they're together to the left. So now we're going to repeat. I'm going to tie yellow right there, and then orange and yellow, the two outside strands, are going to go up out of the way. And to help control the hair, I'm going to place a bobby pin at the base of the yellow middle strand. I'm going to bring the two outside strands up. I'm going to go ahead and work on my middle strand again. I'm going to remove the bobby pin now. And as you can see, the middle strand is looking a little short. So what I'm going to do is pick up more hair from the head, just to make sure we add length so we can keep going. Now with the hair that I grabbed on the head and with my middle strand together, I'm going to place a hair tie right here. Now adding extra hair will not mess up the opening. The opening will still be above the hair tie when the time comes, right here. For now, we need to pick up red and tie it above the middle strand separately. Now red is the hair at the ear level, right there, and right here. Don't grab too much, less is more. And I'm going to tie them right there. So now that I tied red above yellow separately, we're going to split red in half, prepping it for the next circle because this will not be part of the second circle. We're going to take the middle strand, bring it forward, and now we need to bring down orange and yellow from the top. So here's orange and yellow from the top. They need to crisscross over the middle strand. Going to the left and going to the right. Here's my middle strand. It needs to go through its opening above the hair tie. So let's go ahead and look for it. There's the hair tie through the opening. I'm going to go from behind. I'm going to create the opening with two of my fingers. And that's why we have the hair tie, so we can find it. Alright, they're there. So there's two of my fingers above the hair tie. Here's my middle strand. Going to my fingers. And I'm going to pull down. Pull on the left, pull on the right, pull in the middle. Make sure everything looks good. Perfect. So now we're going to keep going. So I'm going to place a bobby pin at the base to help me control the hair while I put this up. Alright, hair's up out of the way. I'm going to pull out that bobby pin. Grab my middle strand. And now I'm going to tie it right here. My middle strand is tied. There it is. It's going to want to pop back up, but that's okay. I'm going to grab my pinks now. Pink is the hair below the ears. Less is more. And I'm going to tie them right here. There's my pink tied together. There's my yellow behind it, tied separately. Now we're going to go ahead and split pink in half. And now we're going to bring the middle strand forward, helping keep pink divided. Now pink will not be part of this circle, but we are going to take down yellow, orange, and red, and they're going to create the third circle. Now remember, for the last circle, if you strictly do one's going to the left, one's going to the right, it's going to get really bulky because the sections are getting so thick. It is better if we split the right one in half, bring half of it to the left, split the left one in half, bring half of it to the right, and then bring the leftover to the left, and bring the last one to the right. This way, you're going to keep it more balanced on both sides. So that when you're done, it's not going to tilt over to one side because of the weight of the hair. So now that the two sides have crossed over, I have my middle strand in my hand right here, and it needs to go through its opening above its hair tie. So we have to dig inside all of this hair, find that hair tie. That's why we do it. It makes it that much easier to find it. I have it in my hand. It is deep behind there, really hard to show for, but here are my fingers coming through. There's the hair tie from the middle strand. So I'm going to take the middle strand, bring it into my fingers, pull down, and there's your third circle. Now while I still have it in my hand, before I'm going to tie everything up, I'm going to go ahead and look at my circles to make sure they are kind of like the shape that I want. Now that I like the general shape, I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to tie it together. Still hanging on to my middle strand because this is what's keeping it together for now. So as you bring everything into your hand, make sure you control that middle strand. And I'm going to tie everything right there. Now that everything is tied, now we're going to shape the circles as we like them. Always hang on to your hair tie. Pull on the sides. Pull on the sides. Widen those circles. Once you like your chain faux braid, now we can add the bow. So what you're going to do is grab hair from the back, bring it forward, and tie it right there. Once the hair's tied, we're going to divide it into 3 sections, your red, orange, and yellow. So now we need to topsy-tail orange above its hair tie. Put your 2 fingers through, grab orange, start the topsy-tail, but don't forget we're going to need this loop. So put your fingers through, bring orange down, and there's my loop. And to make sure the knot is nice and high, the bow, you can also pull on yellow and red just to make sure that everything is still tight. So there's my loop for orange. I'm going to put my fingers through, grab red, pull it through to the other side, use a finger to hold that loop in place while getting yellow to the other side of the loop. Using my thumb to hang on to yellow and red right there, and then finding orange in the back, pulling on orange to secure the bow. So there's my bow. Then I'm going to tie it all together to make it secure. And there you have it, your chain faux braid with a bow.